Welcome to our Race for Governor, Missouri Republicans election special. I'm Andy Banker. Over the next 30 minutes, you'll hear from the top candidates in the state's hottest contest, the Republican governor's race. They are Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft.
I want to be a governor that inspires, that shows people and leads people that our state can do more and do better than we even realize.
Also, Missouri Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe.
I believe that people want folks to govern, not, grenade throwers and screamers and hollers.
And Missouri State Senator Bill Eigel.
Well, I think I'm a visionary leader. I'm the guy that's talking about what that better Missouri looks like versus the one we're living in today.
The campaign is now in the home stretch with the August 6th primary less than 4 weeks away. I recently interviewed the three candidates who garnered at least 5% support in our latest Missouri Next Star, The Hill Emerson College poll. My first question to the candidates, what do they see as the top issue now facing Missourians?
Be it St. Louis, be it Kansas City, be it Springfield, education. We need to make sure parents are in charge of their children's education. Fewer than 25% of 8th graders are proficient in math and reading. What sort of a future are we creating for the next generation if we're not teaching them how to read and how to perform math appropriately?
It's crime and immigration. Crime is out of control across our state. It's not just an urban thing anymore. So I've said all along, when my hand comes off the Bible, should I be fortunate enough to be elected by Missourians, we will enact a day one crime plan. And that's why all the largest statewide law enforcement agencies now have endorsed us, because they believe working with them, we can enact a crime plan that will really make a difference. And the crime plan essentially is getting resources to the men and ladies who are protecting our communities, not defunding the police, funding the police.
The defense of our rights. I've always defined the proper role of government as defending our rights, and we've just gone through a series of government interventions in our society, from the COVID environment, the 2020 election. We saw that, the Obamacare mess, which has made health care less affordable and less accessible for everybody in our society. The defense of our rights, the liberty of our citizens is really in question. And really, if you look at Jefferson City, government's bigger than it's ever been before. We've had a regime in Jefferson City, an administration, and this pains me to say it, that has doubled the size of government in Jefferson City.
All three candidates also put the economy and cutting taxes at the top of their agendas, saying the two go hand in hand.
Well, I've backed over $2.4 billion in tax cuts to Missourians. We've lowered the income tax from 6% to 4.7% my time as a Senate and as Lieutenant Governor. None of these other candidates have voted on that much of a tax cut or put that much of a tax cut in place for Missourians. So I've cut way more taxes than anybody in this field right now. As far as our tax plan going forward, yes, our key component of our economic development plan, how we get companies to expand and potentially locate here, is eliminating Missouri's personal income tax.
The conversation about personal property tax is not one that is whether or not we can and should fund those local services that most every rational human being believes that we ought to have, like police, fire department, or schools. It is a conversation about whether or not charging our working and middle income class households rent for the crime of owning a car is the right way to go about it. 29 of the states have figured out the answer is no. I'm just the guy that's going to deliver on that big red Republican idea of a lower tax burden that's really going to put Missouri first amongst the 50 United States.
Every time you go to the grocery store, you're seeing someone having to take stuff back from the counter because they can't afford it. We need to get the size and scope of government under control. We need to return the people's money to them. We need to get rid of our state income tax and let them know that we're going to put the people first.
Another top issue, crime, and when it comes to St. Louis, returning control of the city police department to the state of Missouri. As it is with Kansas City, a local police board appointed by the governor would oversee the St. Louis City Police Department.
I do favor state control. I think that there are a few examples of folks that have done a poor job managing and defending the rights of their citizens than the soft on crime regime that we have down in St. Louis City. And what makes it even more frustrating to see St. Louis City try to blame everybody but themselves for their own failures that have a track record going back to World War II. The Democrats are busy blaming the police. The Democrats are busy blaming race. They're blaming everybody but the policies that they themselves have instituted that have caused this mess.
We can't claim to be a free society when children go to bed at night scared that they're going to get shot through the wall of their house from errant gunfire. The city of St. Louis has defunded the police. They have not supported them. They have not backed them. And we need officers that are willing to stand in the night, that are willing to go where the rest of us don't want to go so that we can be safe, to go after the bad guys. We have not supported the men and women in blue. The city of St. Louis has not. I've called for the state to take over them. I've called for the state to fund them.
I'm a fan of state control for the St. Louis City Police. Kansas City is still under state control. It works well up there. It worked well when it was here in St. Louis, and previous mayors, Francis Slay, I think, did a good job of managing that. But it's time for us to take that back and make sure that we have local people on that state board, by the way, so you still have local influence. But I think that's a better model for us to work under, and certainly the men and ladies of the police department feel the same.
When we continue, the candidates address the hot-button issues of immigration and foreign ownership of Missouri land, plus an issue you'll likely be voting on in November, abortion access for Missouri women.